Well, welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today is singer, songwriter, and sound alchemist, Jennifer Harper. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, well, we've already had a lot of fun off camera talking about technology and how we probably weren't made for TV, and it's a good thing we're both musicians. But for all of our listeners who have probably never heard of you before, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll pick it up and talk about the new album you got coming out.
Sure. I am based in Stamford, Connecticut, though originally from Washington, D.C., and a lot of years in between there. But I planted roots in Stamford, Connecticut about 25 years ago, raised three kids here, and really started my music career later in life while I was raising my kids. I had been very involved in music my whole life. I started playing the piano when I was four, and I always loved music and did all kinds of things along the way. But it wasn't until I had children that I really started writing. And well, I wouldn't say I really started writing, but I started the act of putting together an album. So I'm now about to release my third album, and it's called Soul Alive, and it's coming out Friday, September 5th. Not sure when this is going to air, but it'll probably be live already. And I've been working on it for all through the pandemic, is really when I did the writing of most of the material. And I was super proud of this because I feel all along the journey, it's taken me a lot. I think the story of my backstory is really the journey to find my own voice and express my own voice. That was something I had just a lot of trouble doing, finding confidence in that. And with this album, I feel like I've really found what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it, and it feels just like a really beautiful and true artistic expression. So excited.
Yeah, fantastic. A 5 year road to get this thing to completion. And now here you are, just a few days from it getting out there into the world and birthing itself, right? Amazing. I have been working on a project myself, not quite 5 years, but some of the songs are 10, 15 years old, right? And
I get it.
I've been carrying them with me, and they've just been bottled up. And over the course of the last year or so, I finally got them out and a chance to play with some really talented folks that I've been friends with for a long time. And I don't have necessarily a band, right? So to like get these big
Yeah.
ideas out, I'm having to work with other individuals. And so I know the feeling. I know that
Yeah.
excitement. We're kind of in the mixing process right now. So to see it kind of go from that raw, just the song and just a feeling, right? It starts as a feeling. I think most songs do. And then to have it expressed and then finally ready to share with the world is so exciting. So I'm thrilled
Yeah.
for you, Jennifer. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah. This in particular, too, I took a lot of creative risks in terms of not doing what I felt was the safe choice or the typical choice in a lot of the ways that I structured the songs and the lyric choices and the repetitiveness. There's a lot of repetitiveness, almost mantra like quality in some of the songs. And that was intentional and felt really just good to express myself that way and not worry so much how I mean, I was crafted with intention, with healing intentions. In other words, I work with the music. Um, they're almost like healing mantras for myself. I work with them, and then I shape them more so that I feel that they will land for other people. But at the same time, so it's that balance of wanting them to land for other people, but really not compromising artistically how I felt that would best take place, if that makes sense.
You touched on something there that I kind of I don't think there's room in this world for safe music anymore, right? Like we are here to take chances. We are here to express ourselves. I have never been one to kind of mold what I do around a commercial aspect to it anyway. That's not why I do music. That's not what moves me to write songs. Raw
Yeah.
emotion moves me to write songs. With you, it seems like there's an intentionality behind it of healing. So that's why you're writing songs. So why try to put that into a box that's ready for commercial for an industry that doesn't want that anyway, for the most
Right.
part? So it's really about creating something that's true to yourself and is a true expression of your human genes. And I know that you have an affinity for, some much deeper topics, right? And I hope we have a chance to dig into a little bit. But it's there's just not a space for safe music, at least in my world. It's not
Yeah.
what I want to do. I'm thrilled to hear someone else kind of express that as well. And I think it gives like each one of us that do that for ourselves, we give another artist permission to do that for themselves as well. And then it keeps going. And I think that's why you had, the explosion of rock and roll and all of this beautiful music from the 60s. And maybe some of this was drug induced too, with a lot of it, but they weren't writing to get big on the radio.
Right.
They were writing to express themselves, and then that went out there and rung true with other people. And
Right.
that was what the cultural movement, I think, of the 60s was really all about, was everyone was just out there creating and expressing themselves. And
Yeah.
I feel like music is coming back to that. The pendulum swung so far to the commercialized side, especially now with Spotify and all these record companies just dominating our world in that way, that I think artists just want to create now. And a lot of people around me are pulling their stuff down off of Spotify, if Spotify hadn't done it already, and really just putting it out, whether it's on vinyl or it's on an app like Bandcamp or something like that. But making it more available to like just the people that actually care to listen to it, not necessarily putting it out there for all of the masses to consume. So I commend you
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting, actually. I mean, there's a whole other can of worms, and I don't know that I definitely want to open that, but I just want to say that, excuse me, with the advancement of AI, there's Spotify is kind of like old news. AI coming in is the new iteration of what's going to be happening with music. Unfortunately, I just saw some really crazy stuff I was watching
I've
that
been blown away, Jennifer, by what I hear from it. And I kind of, because I'm not making any money off of music and I really have no intention of making money off of music, at least in that like the commercialized way. um I don't mind it. I don't mind that other
mm,
people are able to use this technology and to express themselves, because maybe they didn't have the time as a child or a parent that was going to be able to afford to put them into piano lessons
well,
or
that's
to be
interesting.
given these advantages to do it. Well, and I've seen it from a few of my friends, because I kind of was like you, where I was like, oh, it's out there. But if nobody's making any money anyway, then they're not taking anything away from me, right? That they're not
Yeah. This
competing
is,
with me.
I appreciate your point of view. But what I was happened to be watching was, I guess it was a producer who had knew how to work with the technology and basically created a character and gave her, a name, created the idea for the song, and everything was done in like 2.5 minutes. The image, the thing. So it's not even using AI to make music, or like if you never played an instrument or you can sing or whatever. This is literally like creating characters, creating AI artists and their catalog. And it is to be able to for public consumption, and it is to be able to make money, and it is,
Right.
so it's like that's a whole other thing. And I said
I
I
think
have so many
humans
other things that I'd rather
have,
talk about, but I
right,
just did have
right.
to mention it because I
Yeah.
saw it last night and I was just like, whoa, this is
Well, and
really
I think humans are going to be able to suss that out, because while you can create a pop star from that, you cannot artificially create human connection. And that's at its
well,
root is
that's
what
yeah,
music truly is. So it will never be able to replicate what you can do with just you and a piano. And I guess that's why I kind of feel safe in my space. I play guitar and I write
yeah.
my own songs, and I'm like, without power, you can't do any of that. I
Well,
can go
it's
sit around a campfire with my guitar and entertain my
yeah,
friends,
yeah.
without any electricity whatsoever. So,
That's
yeah.
true.
I
Yeah.
obviously with just where it's going, I have these conversations almost daily now on the podcast, and
Yeah.
some people that are really into it, and some people that feel very much like you do. And I don't necessarily know where I stand because I kind of have
Mm.
a foot in both, right? I appreciate,
Yeah.
people having a chance to express themselves, but also understand that there are going to be now companies that are built on manufacturing pop stars from absolutely nothing. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's something icky about it, but I think also human beings are going to suss that out as well. So we'll
Yeah.
see. It's going to
Let's
be an
hope so.
interesting 5, 10 years in the music
Yeah,
business,
sure
isn't
is.
it?
Sure
So you
is.
got the album coming out soon. I'm just
Yeah.
thrilled for that. Can you tell us, what's kind of what's the one track on there that you're just the most thrilled to get out there? I know it's like picking your favorite kid or something, but I want to know the one track that people really need to go and hear when it comes out, actually this Friday. So
Oh gosh, that's too
listen
hard. That is like picking one kid. I can't do that. But I
to the
will
whole thing
say,
like an old album, right? Lay it
yeah,
on, listen to them all.
I will say that there's one song on the album that's an extended version of a song that I released as a single, and I was a little more hesitant to release it as a single. And for the album, I decided that I really wanted the extended version. It's called Floating. And it's a song that really resonates with the stage of life that I'm in now. I just got my youngest off to college, so I'm now officially an empty nester and moving into menopause and all of that has come with that over the last you know decade, really, all the changes as a woman and moving into this stage where my kids are, you know, needed me less and less and started moving out on their own and doing their own things. And it's making peace with who I am, making peace with the stage of life I'm at, making peace with my body, making peace with, and more than making peace with it, like really surrendering into the beauty of this stage of life. So that song means a lot to me personally for that reason. So,
I think that's awesome because it's something that, and talking about pop and commercial music, no commercial music is going to touch that
yeah,
subject, right? It would be frowned upon. Who wants to talk about those things? But it's something that every woman, hopefully if they live that long, is going to go through, especially if they have children and all of these things. So I think
yeah,
it's great that you really tackle, really hard topics head on and using your lived experience to kind of tell the story that maybe isn't as unique as it may seem. So it's just thrilling. I cannot wait to listen to
yeah.
this album. I'm getting really excited to check it out here in just a couple of days. In your
Well, it's
bio,
interesting.
yeah,
Sorry,
go
I'll
ahead.
let you
No,
say.
I don't
No,
want to cut you
it's
off.
just
Go ahead.
interesting to me because sometimes I wondered, does my music resonate with men? But I have had a lot of men. I mean, clearly it's written much more. Much more about the women's perspective and women's healing and women's issues and really about empowerment for women is like something that I talk about a lot in connection with nature as well. But I have had men reach out to me and tell me how much they enjoy my music, not only because it touches them, but because it helps them understand the female perspective as well. So,
Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you. Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
because we're freaking clueless, Jennifer. You know, we're absolutely clueless. And some of our wives are not as good at expressing these things.
Mm.
My wife and I deal with a lot of communication. I'm a talker, if you couldn't tell. My wife is the polar opposite of that, especially when it gets to highly charged, emotionally charged conversations and really deep things like that. And some
Mm.
of that is probably because I have a tendency to talk over her, right? Because I am that talker. So
Mm.
having a song that expresses who you are, like that's what music and being an artist is all about. And kind of tracing back to the AI, I think that's something that AI will never be able to recreate and to bring. It doesn't have a human experience to fall back on. It
Right.
doesn't have that true human nature to it. So Love it. I'm just thrilled that you're putting this out there into the world, and you're not scared to go ahead and let it hang out there, and to see what it does for the world and how it changes it. It's a beautiful thing, and I really commend you for taking some risks, and I think humanity will thank you in the end too. If you help one man understand his wife a little better, you might have saved a marriage.
Yeah, funny.
So in
Yeah.
your bio, it says after discovering human design and gene keys, you spent 2 years intensively studying these practices. What can you tell us about how that relates to your music career?
Mm. Well, you know, understanding the self, it's a system for understanding the self. And particularly in gene keys, works in frequencies. So shadow frequency, gift frequency, and then the highest expression of your gifts, which is called SIDDHI, SIDDHI, I think is how it's spelled. And understanding these frequencies in myself and exploring them gave me so much material, really, for of things that I wanted to, you know, it's sort of a puzzle to work out a little bit. Sometimes songwriting, like I'm working through something and trying to understand it and transmute it, transform it, come to some kind of embodiment of it, right? So while studying the human design and the gene keys, my chart, I was also studying other people's charts, particularly in my family. And I just went deep into certain things about human nature that we all share, and also particularly, in my own chart. So the writing, the material, it just gave me a lot to write about, think about. So that's part of it, how it's in the music. And then in addition, I started working with clients one-on-one and helping other people with their charts and understanding their charts. And then what I discovered was, as I was doing this, that people were very profoundly affected by my voice. They would constantly say, it's not just what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. Like your voice is transmitting something to me that's really helping me shift this. So I started understanding, and of course people were giving that kind of feedback too about my songs, that these aren't just songs, these are activations, these are transmissions, that the sound and the messages were affecting people on a much deeper level. So I started, well, it's sort of a longer story, but to make a longer story short of how it evolved in me, this process, I began combining intuitive sound, like using my voice as a sound healing instrument while I was doing my readings for people. So I would read their charts, I would sort of channel for them about their lives, and then also basically, I don't know what a better word than channel, because that's how it feels. It's just like opening myself to receive the messages, and then they come through me and my voice and singing and helping them move the energy. So it's like an energy healing, and it's like an energetic transmission and a voice healing, to do with their birth charts, if that explains it. I don't know. Very hard to explain, but very powerful to experience.
Awesome.
Uh,
So these are your soul blueprint activations and sacred frequency recalibrations.
Correct. Yeah.
That
And
sounds so incredible.
yeah,
I'm so intrigued. I
yeah,
uh I bet you could go on for hours about this topic. So I don't want to have you go too far into it. It's intriguing enough. I hope people get a chance to come and check that out. Is this a service that you offer as well
it
locally?
is.
An in-person service?
Well, I've done a lot on Zoom,
Okay,
really. Yeah.
awesome.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic.
So it's
Well,
easy through my website. You can find
well,
Jennifer.
why don't
Yeah.
you, yeah, go ahead and share
Yeah.
that, Jennifer. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. It's jenniferharpermusic.com. And I believe there's a tab that says something like work with me or what I can do for you or something like that. And if you're interested at all in the sessions, you can reach out through my website. You can say you found me here, and I can do some kind of a special for your audience. I'm happy to do that.
Oh,
And
that would be thrilling.
yeah, it's a very, very powerful and beautiful way of understanding the self. And I have, through my own process, released a lot of blocks, and it has allowed me to come to the place I am now, where I'm not only bringing forth an album that feels like the truest expression of my artistry, but I'm also now offering these sessions to other people. So it has just opened up so much for me in my life that I never expected, just through understanding my own blueprint. So I'm so thrilled when I can do that for other people, and the shifts that I've witnessed in people from changing direction in their career to some people have experienced a physical healing of something that's been bothering them, to, settling into a certain direction in their life that they were going, but they were hesitant, or whether it's not understanding how to work with your energy. Certainly for artists, it can be really, really helpful in understanding your voice and your message and your purpose and all of these things. It's fantastic. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, well, and it gives credence to what I say. I say it almost every episode now because I find it to be completely true. But I believe that podcasting and these conversations that we're having, this is how God is healing the world, right? Like having
Mm.
this is so powerful, but because of deeper than just the content of the conversation, it's the voices that we're having on our programs and all of these different podcasts. And I think a lot of what you just taught here to us who have never heard of these things before, and what you're doing in your sessions are an embodiment of that even further. So absolutely thrilling, Jennifer. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing a little bit about you and your things. We have some longer form programs that are also inside of the network. I would love to have you come back, and maybe we could do a session for me live on the air. That would
Ooh,
be really fun.
ooh, really fun.
Yeah,
Very
interesting.
cool.
Before I let you go, I'll give you a chance to plug everything one more time, and make sure to
Sure.
mention the name of the album and where they can find it.
Oh, thank you. Sure. It's called Soul Alive, like your soul alive. And it's coming out on September 5th on all streaming platforms, wherever you listen to music. And my website is jenniferharpermusic.com. And you can connect to me on socials through my website. It's probably the easiest, rather than rambling off even more links that are hard to remember. But I think the best way is always through email, because that's how you find out about different exclusives and you hear things first. And um, I also have, when you sign up for the mailing list, I have a free song, a very healing song. Um, so, yeah,
Excellent.
jenniferharpermusic.com.
Fantastic. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for giving me some of your time today, and thank you for being part of the scene.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And all the best to you and your mission here.